I would like to talk about how to survive on the set without losing your shit. The process of shooting film or television can tend to feel unpredictable and chaotic. This video is a practical guide to help you stay in your creative flow when you're on the set. So you finally landed the role. You've done your preparation. You learned your freaking lines. You're excited. And then you arrive on the set and it feels like you walked into a food processor. You start to get nervous. There's cables everywhere. Someone is yelling last looks. There's a feeling of uncertainty and tension all around the set. And you're wondering when it's your time to say your freaking lines. You're in full costume. Maybe you're sitting in your trailer, not sure if it's going to be 10 minutes or 3 hours before they're going to ask you to come onto the set. So how do you not lose your shit? It doesn't matter if you've never been on a set before or you've been on the set one time or maybe 50 times. This is a survival guide for navigating the set with grace, groundedness, and full access to your craft. So let's start by talking about the trailer. If you have a trailer, sometimes you don't. But when I say trailer, even if you don't have a trailer, that's usually the place where you are sequestered until they are finally ready to call you onto the set to shoot your scenes. So this is where you become acquainted with one of the strangest parts of on-set acting. You spend most of your time not acting. This is where the waiting game can be quite disorienting. You're in costume, maybe even in makeup. You're ready you're ready to shoot. But then hours go by. No one calls you for hours. Your call time may have been 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. You're out of costume and makeup by 8 a.m. Then you're in your trailer 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12. It's almost lunchtime and they still haven't called you. This is very typical. So this is where your professionalism and your craft come into play. How do you ground yourself and take care of yourself, not only personally, but also creatively, while you're waiting that many hours? Number one, ground your body. Do some stretching, breath work, a physical warm-up, stuff that maybe you remember doing in the theater or in acting class. Do things to keep yourself patient and open and at ease, keeping your instrument ready. I remember one time as a young actor, I went to visit somebody on the set with a friend, and she was waiting to shoot, as you always do. She was probably waiting for a few hours, and I was concerned that we were disturbing her and talking to her too much because she had to get ready to shoot. And she said something that I'll never forget. She said, "It's like a stove. I'm fine, I can talk, I can have a conversation. I have my preparation inside of me, I have all my work here, but I can turn the stove down and the stove is just simmering. So I know that it's simmering, and when they call me onto the set to shoot, I'm going to be ready and I can turn the stove up." I loved that analogy, and it works wonders. And that's the other thing about waiting and being in your trailer for hours and hours. Just don't worry about your work and overwork yourself and keep checking in with your emotional preparation over and over again. Just allow yourself to turn the stove down, to simmer, and trust that everything is in there and it'll be ready to go when it's time for you to shoot. The other thing you can do in the trailer is reconnect to the scene. It doesn't mean to panic about whether or not you know all your lines and rememorize them, but gently read the script. Most likely when you arrived on the set, they gave you those little cheat sheet, small sides Sometimes there are changes to the dialogue here and there. Sometimes it's exactly the same. It's just these are the scenes that you're going to be shooting, and you have those around, and you can just go to them and loosely, gently review them. Lightly, and I emphasize lightly, with the stove turned down low to simmer, re-enter your scene, check in with your preparation, connect to the previous circumstances of each scene that you're going to be shooting, and gently stay in the world of your character. Don't obsess. Another thing that you can do is if you have your actor's journal and you've been throughout your process of working on the character biography, for example, you can simply sit down and write in your journal, maybe write in character, as if you're writing in the character's journal, going through the inner life, thinking about the circumstances and the relationships that the character has. Just nice and easy. You might do this yourself already, but it is always a good thing to make a playlist for your character so that you can listen to the music and ruminate and allow the character and your belief system to flow through you. Another thing to be aware of while you're waiting in the trailer or wherever they have you waiting, for the most part, stay off the phone. So that's the stuff about the trailer. Let's move forward in time. After 5 hours, 6 hours, sometimes more, they finally call you to the set. So hitting the set for the first time is most likely for camera rehearsal. When you're finally called to the set for camera rehearsal, things start to happen really fast. But the rehearsal is the first step. This is where you have to figure out how the scene is going to be blocked and how it's going to be shot. You see what your marks are and you figure out what all of those technical things are all about. So this is the moment where hopefully the time that you had in the trailer was well spent. And now that you're on the set, you can begin the process of really reconnecting to what you have to do for the scene. So here are the crucial things to keep in mind when you arrive on set for the camera rehearsal. Number one, feel the space. You're no longer in the rehearsal process. You are in the reality, the real world of your character. Stay open and take in all of the stuff that's on the set. You might be in an actual public space if you're shooting outside in the city, or if it's in a controlled environment of a studio. Production design has set up the world, so you're in the world of the character. So this is crucial to take in absolutely everything with creativity and curiosity. And this is where all the work that you've done can be supported by the rest of the team. The second thing is to clock the camera. Now, of course, you're not going to act for the camera, but you do want to have an awareness of where it is, and you'll probably know what kind of coverage is being done. Most likely it'll be a master at first, or it'll be a medium shot. The third thing is, if you have questions, ask them. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This will help you in the long run. If you're unsure about a mark or a movement, ask. That's what the script supervisor is there for. That's also what the assistant director is there for, and the director. This isn't the time to pretend that you've got it all under control. If you have a question, it's okay to ask, because everyone wants you to succeed. After camera rehearsal, more waiting. Most likely, at first, they have to finalize the lights and the sound and all of the stuff that they have had to adjust after you go in and do your rehearsal. That's what rehearsal is for them to see all the things that they have to make sure are in place. Then, most likely, they'll call you back to start shooting, and this is where take after take after take, there'll be more waiting as the crew tweaks things and the director tweaks things, and you might get adjustments. It takes a long time, and you will be shooting the same thing over and over and over again from different angles. Master shots, over the shoulders, close-ups. So as you're going through that process, how do you stay creative? How do you stay consistent? And how do you stay fresh and alive? The first thing is trust your preparation. Don't act the scene. At this point, after you've done all of the work that you've done to prepare, it is now time for you to live the scene. Let the lines and your concern for the lines go into the background and focus on the previous circumstances. The moment before the first line, getting into your imagination and in the spirit of not knowing what's coming next, not knowing what the lines are. This is your opportunity to let go. And if you've done your homework well, everything that you need will come in the moment and come through you. And being in that unknown is a wonderful, sweet spot to be in, as long as you know your character and you know the circumstances and you're specific about what you've worked on. You can bring that to the set, and that's part of your contribution creatively. Don't worry about, oh, I want to please everybody or I want to do a great job. Of course you want to do a great job, but everybody has their own function in the world of film and television. They have their own job to do, and this is your job, bringing truth to the scene. And as the camera moves and you do it 50 times, 5 times, 10 times, 3 times, whatever it might be, continue to build. Allow yourself to let go. Try different colors with each take. You have to stay responsible to the continuity. As the camera moves, remember what you've done previously and keep what you need, and then allow yourself to try something different that you didn't try before. At this point, maybe the director has stepped in and talked through a couple of things with you. This is really about the collaboration with everyone around you. And the more you can trust, let go, and stay kind to yourself and those around you, you're going to have a ball. Not every take is going to feel perfect. That's okay. It's film. That's the beauty of film. The director and the editor will pick the best take and pick the one that works. Your job is to stay open, to stay creative, to stay connected to your craft, and listen. So remember, your craft is your anchor. Set life can feel completely chaotic, but your craft, your preparation, your breath, your body, your imagination, all of that is your anchor. That's what you were hired to bring. When everything around you is moving and it's chaos and you have to wait so many hours, you can still take care of yourself and stay free, grounded, and connected to your work. Remember, you are the character. No one else can bring your version of the character to life. So I hope that these tips help you to protect your instrument and trust the process. You got this. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Click on the description below for links to our website as well as our free weekly newsletter. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.